Now, the African continent's vast renewable potential holds the power to redefine investment flows, stabilise the climate, and of course brings power to millions still living without it. This is the message of the Global Citizen Now Summit that's being held on Friday for the first time on the continent, leading up to the G20 Leaders Summit. The event is a catalyst for the Scaling Up Renewables in Africa campaign that calls for new public and private investments to accelerate renewable energy projects in Africa and, of course, address that energy poverty. So to talk a little bit more about this Global Citizen Now Summit, it's great to be joined by Nomzamo Mbatha, actress, humanitarian, and Global Citizen Ambassador. Nomzamo, what a pleasure. So lovely to see you and welcome to Morning Live.
Hi, Leanne. It's good to see you. Long time.
Yeah, indeed it has been. But you've been so busy, and now you've been entrusted with this incredible task of hosting the first ever Global Citizen Now campaign, taking place on Friday at the Convention Centre. We are a very busy country at the moment. Talk to us about the significance of this campaign.
Well, I think it's significant because it happens on the sidelines of the G20. We know that the world leaders are going to be descending, if they haven't already descended, upon this incredible country. And we wanted to bring the GC Summit to be able to have those important conversations, particularly around scaling up renewable energy on the continent. I think it's absolutely timely that we use our voice as young people. We keep talking about the fact that in however many years, a quarter or a third, I should say, of the world's population will be from, youth population will be from this continent. And so how do we stay ready for that? And so to have these kinds of conversations leading up to 2030, because we also have the UN SDGs. In 2030, in 5 years' time, we need to speak about our own social contract and what ticked boxes we were able to particularly look into. And so for me, as a voice, as a person who has the attention of young people, it is a moral duty for me to use my platform to have such conversations, but also to be a host at the GC Summit. Yeah. We had an incredible event earlier on in the year in Spain and Seville, and that was very, very effective. We had the President of the European Commission, President von der Leyen, and speaking about just renewable energy on the continent, but also what South Africa is particularly doing, because we know that there's huge dependency on fossil fuels, and there's, outside of dependency on fossil fuels, there are businesses, there are communities who rely on that economy. And so how does South Africa mitigate that as we scale up to renewable energy? And we have an incredible mandate that's called the Just Transition. So these are kind of things that I'm hoping we're going to be speaking about on Friday.
No doubt, and such a highly esteemed list of guests that are going to be there, including the President, and I'm not mistaken, I think Ursula von der Leyen is also going to be there, but you can tell us more about that. I just want to focus on something where these pledges that this campaign has actually managed to secure when it comes to providing clean energy to around 4.6 million households. The goal is to reach 10 million. How? Is this through obviously corporate sponsorships, and I know Global Citizen do all of these events around the world, but how is this hoping to be achieved?
Well, the European Union is going to be making a commitment this Friday. We're excited for President Ursula von der Leyen to tell us about the new commitment, but also Spain made a commitment. I think the Global Fund is also part of this movement. So it really is about the galvanization of multilateral organizations, of private sector, of public sector. We cannot simply do it alone. And I think for us as young people, but also as public figures, we can be able to also be a part of this change and be a part of the conversation. What are the commitments that we're making? Our commitment is possibly to use our voice, is to use our platform, but also to use the networks in which we're able to build connections and relationships around the world.
Yeah, and the reality is that, I mean, we can speak on very high levels, but, you know, South Africa experiences energy challenges. I mean, some communities don't even have any access to any form of adequate electricity. So we want to talk to those people, and how is this going to help those that most need this electricity and this power that we're talking to?
I think it's important to not just have those high level conversations, to be able to go to those who are affected by energy poverty the most, which is the average citizen. And so to be able to build that bridge, we must be able to use a language that can be able to be accessible. When we speak about energy poverty, it's not just a term. What does that term look like, and how does it affect everyday life? Leanne, we don't need to go to the most rural areas of our country to see these kinds of issues affect citizens. You can go to Alex, you can go to Wamash, you can go to Nduzuma, you can go to Umlazi, you can go to Kliptown. People are living without electricity. That is the basic fundamental issue that we're facing here, and it should not be the case. We should not have that, not in 2025, not with the resources that we have. And so how do we leverage off of the G20 with all the world leaders that are coming here? How do we keep having these conversations to be able to see how much more commitments we can be able to have? We also had an incredible event with Global Citizen, an economic development event all the way in Abidjan, which was very effective, where we had the World Bank president also very much making a commitment towards scaling up renewable energy in the continent.
Yeah, well, as you say, Nomzamo, the world is watching, and I think all of us know this, and everybody's sort of complaining, 2 days, all of this for just 2 days. Many countries would do anything to get this attention for 2 days, but we need to use it in the right way. And when you have these people in a room, it is vitally important that we not only get these commitments, but we actually get the action, because there's one thing to pledge, there's another thing to do. And if there's one place that needs it, it certainly is this. I mean, we've got these beautiful establishments, and that you've mentioned so many, where you go into these beautiful beautiful rooms that are hosting all of these world leaders, but then you go 10 Ks down the road, the story is very, very different. And there's got to be a way that the people 10 kilometers away are going to benefit from this as well. But we love the work that you do, and I know you don't stop. I mean, it's just from one cause to the next cause, which is absolutely commendable. And then still maintaining a film career through all of this.
I know, yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know how I do it, but it's the power of being a woman. That's what I think.
I think it's amazing. But if I can take a little bit of the selfish time to actually talk to what you're doing at the moment, what is your big project besides all of these efforts you're working on? What are you doing?
Well, I know that everybody's been waiting for the season 3 for Shaga, and so that's been very much heavy on my shoulders in the season of my life, and so we're very excited to be in production and to be gearing up for that, the return. But also there are other film projects and TV projects that I'm producing that I can't speak about right now, and I'm very excited. I do feel that I'm at a very interesting pivot in my life, and I'm leaning into it.
Good. You lean, girl, and we're holding you up while you lean. My final question to you, and it's something that I find that I've been sort of asking most people I've been speaking to. If you were standing in front of those G20 leaders with all you've seen and all you do, and as a young voice, what would be your key message to them?
To lean in, to listen. We are living in different times now. There has to be better intergenerational dialogue. And for better intergenerational dialogue to happen, those world leaders need to listen. For a very long time, there has been a huge degree of separation. I'd like to think in 2025, in this very moment that we live in, those degrees of separation are much, much smaller. And that line is much thinner. Yeah. So listen and lean in.
Nomzamo, thanks so much for talking to us, and good luck for the event on Friday. Nomzamo Mbatha, Global Citizen Now host and ambassador, talking to us about the significance of hosting the Global Citizen Now Summit for the very first time in the African continent, and of course calling for the acceleration of renewable energy investments in Africa.